When Jack and Nessa's 17th birthday drew close, it was a much quieter affair than the previous year. Solinar had a small surprise for them and Morel. He wanted to take them to see a dance troupe that was coming through the city. He'd purchased seats for the four of them. Jack was confused by the change of pace. Why were they there to watch a dance troupe of all things? They took their seats with Jack and Nessa to Solinar's left and Morel to his right. When the two dancers, a male and female, came out onto the stage, Solinar spoke in Jack and Nessa's minds. "Let's join hands. I want you to watch this couple dance. This is how I want you to learn to fight with each other. Watch closely. Let your mind meld with mine. Release your thoughts now. Flow with my mind. Flow with the dancers." Jack's eyes slid shut. He reached out with his perception, feeling the familiar warmth of Nessa's consciousness. Then he felt both of their consciousnesses combine with Solinar's, and then they were there, seeing through his eyes, feeling what he felt. The male dancer swept forward, his partner spinning away in a graceful arc before flowing back. The woman used her partner as an anchor point, pivoting around him, their hands meeting and releasing in a rhythm that seemed almost sacred. And then the vision hit. The theater dissolved. In its place, a battlefield materialized, smoke and chaos, and the screams of dying men. But at the center, two figures moved with impossible grace. Him and her. Nessa spun away from his left side, her body a blur of midnight leather and silver steel. Three enemies rushed them. Jack's right hand swept up, a sphere of crackling azure mana forming in his palm. He released it in the same breath that Nessa's hand flashed forward, a rune blazing to life in the air between them. The mana ball screamed through the center of her rune. The explosion was beautiful, terrible. The rune amplified his magic, transforming a simple attack into a cascading wave of force that sent two attackers flying backward. But the third, Nessa was already there. She'd used the momentum of her throw to spin into Jack's guard, her back pressing against his chest for a heartbeat as an arrow whistled through the space where her head had been. Jack's left hand came up, his blade singing free of its sheath, sweeping in a defensive arc that caught the follow-up strike, steel screaming against steel. Nessa dropped low, flowing around his legs like water, her daggers flashing. The enemy's knees buckled. She rose on the other side of Jack in a graceful spiral, already throwing another rune. Again. Jack's mana ball roared through the glowing sigil she'd created. The combination detonated against a shield that materialized from nowhere, an enemy mage desperately trying to protect his allies. The shield held for a fraction of a second before it shattered like glass, fragments of golden light scattering across the battlefield. An enemy rushed Jack's right side. He pivoted, his sword coming up in a rising cut. But Nessa was already there, her katana a silver streak in the smoke-filled air. She'd read his movement, anticipated it, and her blade took the enemy in the throat before Jack's could land. She used Jack's shoulder as a pivot point, her hand pressing against him for balance as she vaulted over a low strike, her body horizontal in the air for a breathless moment before she landed in a crouch behind him. Jack threw a mana ball blind, trusting, knowing, and Nessa's rune was there to meet it. The explosion took out two more enemies who'd been trying to flank them. They were a storm, a symphony of violence and grace. Nessa wove between his strikes, her smaller frame using his body as both shield and springboard. When she threw a rune, he was already channeling mana, his power flowing through her magic like a river through a canyon, amplified and focused and devastating. An enemy mage raised his hands, power gathering in a sickly green glow, raw and unfocused, the crude manipulation of someone who'd never learned to shape mana properly. A thin line of blood trickled down the inside of his wrist, where he'd cut himself to fuel the spell. Jack's perceptions screamed a warning, but Nessa was faster. She threw 3 runes in rapid succession, each one spinning through the air like a deadly constellation. Jack's hands moved on instinct, 3 mana balls forming and launching in the space between heartbeats. The first combination created a shield that absorbed the enemy's attack. The second detonated against the mage's hastily raised barrier, cracking it. The third punched through and took the mage in the chest, the force of it lifting him off his feet.